You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Business Access TV welcomes you to our coverage of the Tech Beach Retreat Regional Roadshow Mixer right here at Regis in New Kingston under the theme, The Future of Tech in the Caribbean. I'm your host, Amita Pasadbe. Please stay tuned for highlights.
Welcome, one and all. Firstly, apologies. I was planning to wear my tux today, but we were really working up to the last minute before you came to get this center up and running. There's still a few minor touches for us to put on, but I hope you like what you see. So you are here at Regis. We are the world's largest provider of workplace solutions, ranging from products for if you work from home and you just want a more professional image for your business, if you need to pop in to use a meeting room, or for our core products, which are office space. Fully furnished, or bells and whistles included, from your telecoms, IT, even down to your gourmet coffee or during the day. So if you want to have a look to see what we have to offer, please grab one of the Regis team, and we'll be happy to show you around. We also have some goodie bags for you to take away when you leave. And in them, you would have a free lounge pass. So we want you to come and test out our product. If you want to leave your business cards, we will be also doing a prize draw for a free meeting room for a day. And also, we're running a promotion. So anyone that signs up for Office Space before the end of November, signs up for at least 6 months, we will give you 3 additional months free of charge. So that's a 33% discount. So looking forward to seeing all of those opportunities and those business cards flying in. So thank you very much for popping down, and please grab one of the team if you want to have a look around.
You know, I did a self-guided tour by myself around the space earlier this evening. And, you know, I am shocked at how many offices are in here. It is insane. So when you imagine all of these offices being filled with entrepreneurs and businesses all doing work and the kind of energy that can happen in this space, you really know that we're creating something special here. So thank you again, Darren. And now, Kirk, no wine for you, because I'm going to introduce you right now, the man of the evening, who is going to moderate our panel and introduce our panelists, Kirk Hamilton.
Some people in the room may be asking, what is Tech Beach? I always am fascinated but also thankful when people are willing to come out and hear about something that they have not much a clue of. So that's appreciated. Tech Beach is a platform designed to really set firm an ecosystem in the Caribbean around technology and innovation. Most of us in this room are savvy individuals within the corporate world or business world, or we're entrepreneurs, and we all yearn for a different Jamaica, a different Caribbean. A Caribbean that is forward-thinking, a Caribbean that is faster-paced, a Caribbean that ideas can thrive in, and so someone can come up with something and turn it into even more. And as a 32-year-old individual, I always say to people that the challenge I've faced is, for my 3 decades on Earth, the Jamaica I know, as wonderful as it is, has never seen economic growth in any meaningful way. And I've never witnessed transformation. We're now starting to see a change on the island, and we're very excited about it. But what we feel needs to happen is there needs to be greater levels of opportunity for collaboration. There needs to be obviously greater levels of access to capital. But a lot of times we talk about these things without understanding the fundamentals of how these elements interact and how these things come together and really help to create a true economy, right? There's a conversation nowadays in Jamaica increasingly about inclusive growth. You'll hear that term over and over and over. I'll share with you as we step into this panel discussion and as I give you a little insight into Tech Beach. I usually say to people that a lot of these terminologies come into play in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean 5 or 10 years too late. No different than when we talk about technological innovations and such like that. And so if you think about what inclusivity really means, ultimately we're starting a conversation that says outside the walls of this gathering, there are people who should be involved in our economy who for some reason, for just about all of our entire lives, have been left out of the conversation. And it is suddenly happening that our private sector is acknowledging the reality that the more people who can buy my product in a sustainable manner, the better off I am, right? Personally, I don't think it's rocket science, but it is a shift and a trend that has happened in the world that has actually led to the creation of a lot of the platforms that we aspire to and want to see be successful in the region. So when you think about platforms like Airbnb and Uber and the conveniences that these things deliver to us, ultimately they're built on the pillar of inclusive growth, because what they're saying is we can democratize an industry, bring more people into it by utilizing technology to bring down the costs.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
The theme of tonight was, or is, the future of technology in the Caribbean. And I'll just go ahead and try to shape the conversation, but ultimately, you know, within Tech Beach, we deal with a lot of emerging technologies that seemingly are shifting the conversation and changing the landscape around the world. And what we really want to look at this evening is, where are we now? Where can we be? And I don't think it would actually hurt to discuss a bit where we're coming from. And I'll just set the tone by saying I think we've come a long way despite the way that we have to go.
I recently started my own tech company, Innovate 10X. I do believe it's a world of digital opportunities right now. I've had left my safety of my 9-to-5 job. I had a very senior position at JMMB. And I think it was about time for me to look and see where I could actually, you know, see where I could make use of these opportunities. And the way I see it now, especially in the Caribbean, and I'll include the Latin American market, you're talking about 40 million people, right? And most of the solutions, digital solutions worldwide, if people buy them and try to implement them, they typically just don't work. Because what works in another country, their unique situation, is different from what exists in the Caribbean. And therefore, I see where there are opportunities for us in the Caribbean to still learn from what's going on elsewhere in the world, to partner with those that have actually gone before us and bring those solutions to the region.
Being within the ICD group, which you can explain to folks the makeup of the ICD group, but being within an organization like that that has been around for a long time, you're charged with leading transformation there, which includes a digital focus. I guess at an enterprise level, what do you see happening, especially within an enterprise level organization that has been around?
Right. Okay, so thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, everybody's plugged in. Great. So I think the perspective that I bring is actually a bit more unique than just being inside of ICD Group, because most of my working career has been away. And so I've been with ICD for the last 5 years, really charged with, as Kirk has said, transformation. And it started out as digital, but then what we had to create inside is what I think most companies here in Jamaica are missing the mark on. And that is recognizing that in order for digital transformation to be successful, there's a significant amount of people and cultural transformation that has to take place first. And why I say that I think that a lot of corporations are missing that is because outside of even digital transformation, I don't find that in Jamaica there is a significant amount of investment in people and culture, at least not when compared to other countries that I've worked in. And what happens is they tend to push the technology first, push for the change. You know, we need to automate, and you know, we have too many of these things not working, and too much paper, and too many books, and all of that. And so the CIOs will drop a new piece of technology in and say, okay, use that, right? And then everybody's like, okay, make my life more hell, why don't you, right? And so what I've discovered is that if you can enroll the leadership of the organization in where you're headed, from what does transformation look like when you actually have it, right? Then you can help with getting the people that have to actually deliver that transformation to help you get there.
Lauren, I'd like you to give us, from the kind of startup perspective, especially in the age of bringing in completely new solutions into the market, what you see happening in the landscape and how you see things going at the moment.
All right, thanks, Kirk, and good night, everyone. So I'm Lauren Pearson, I'm the CEO of Blue Dot, and we are a decision support services company. In other words, we provide insights via research and data to our clients. You asked initially, where we're coming from, and I think that, like you and I had discussions before, I think it's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur in Jamaica right now. I think there's a lot of opportunities that are present now, especially that were not present when I started Blue Dot 4 years ago, or even when I first went to the Branson Center in 2013 as a little hustler. So, just things such as venture capital or angel investment or even just capital and was non-existent. And now we have all of this capital that's available for young entrepreneurs like myself. SSL, they just invested in us, thanks Lamar. And the outlook is really good.
What I would get to know is, I think everyone on this panel can actually give some insight into technologies that you think will drive the transformation in Jamaica. And this is definitely very open prediction, this is not a class, but I would love to hear from you all, as we hear about things like artificial intelligence and the blockchain and such like that.
Before we get into that, I always have to raise this issue. So in Jamaica, it is nearly impossible to register IP that is not a portion or some sort of mechanical device, because the Patent Act is from 1860-something. So I think that's a good segue, because that is a prohibitor of tech here. It is nearly impossible, and I'm hoping that some people help me to lobby the government for that, from that point of view.
Okay, great. So I think that it's really more basic types of technology that are going to really kickstart things here. And I say that because, so I brought Lauren in a couple of times to pitch to different entities within the group. So for those of you that don't know, ICD has 9 groups within the portfolio now, right? And for the more traditional legacy companies, data is really, really, really important. And so I find that any type of technology that has to do with business intelligence or analytics, I think that type of technology will be quite foundational and is something that people can buy into because they get it. They see how it's going to benefit their businesses. And so I think that he's actually in a great space. So anything that is doing analysis, I think for sure.
I think cloud technologies is where it is. So the larger corporations, they would have gotten a head start because they're big, they have the large IT budget, they have this CRM system, Oracle financial systems and all that. The small enterprise, if they're smart, they can sign up maybe $30 a month US and have a very good CRM system for 5 users or an accounting system that rivals what some of these large organizations are doing. So you can actually have a very efficient organization that rivals the technology that other the larger institutions may have. The cloud technology, like Google technology in terms of sharing and collaboration, that's actually available to everybody. So a lot of these business people, they're so busy, dealing with the sales and the accounting. Again, that's opportunities for entrepreneurs and tech companies to work with these small enterprises and show them that, look, I can really make it a lot more efficient. Robotic process automation has taken on like wildfire over there. It's like where you're giving each person their own personal robot. That's how they're actually pitching it now. But this, again, is cloud-based technology.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round-view monitor, and Hill Start Assist for confidence behind the wheel, plus auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Regis is the global leader in service offices. So service offices here at Regis is all about flexible workspaces and flexible working. So businesses, young startups, entrepreneurs, or existing businesses who are looking for ready-to-use serviced offices where you pay one invoice a month and it's all inclusive. This is the place for you. Whether it's a 4-person outfit or a 20-person business, you can get an office for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year. And our office space is our core product. On top of our kind of core product of office space, we have the virtual office where we will manage your mail, we will manage your answering, we'll manage your telephone, so telephone answering, mail management. And depending on your level of needs, your level of requirements, we have different types of virtual office products. We also have meeting rooms, so clients in the center who need a boardroom or need a project meeting room, they can rent that for a half a day, for an hour, for 2 hours, and they get a discount as clients here. But it's also open to non-clients who need meeting rooms and want a very professional and productive environment. We provide that service too. And then we've got Business Lounge membership, and that membership allows you access to 3,000 Regis lounges right across the world. So if you're a member here, If you're in Miami or London or New York or Singapore, you can go to Regis Centre, you'll turn on your laptop and you'll connect to the Wi-Fi seamlessly. In addition to that, we've got co-working if you just want to rent a desk by the month. We also offer that service. So there's a lot of flexible working solutions and workspaces for the modern day business person, the modern day businesses. So when you look at what we have in our centres in Barbados or in London or in Trinidad or in Hong Kong, we get a diverse mix of businesses. So we're very excited about launching here in Jamaica, launching here in New Kingston. And in a few weeks' time, we'll start to see the community here develop. And we'll start to see a nice thriving business centre happening here. It's going to be very interesting, the types of customers and the types of clients we get coming in our door.
So tonight we explored what is happening in the global landscape from a technology and innovation perspective and the possibilities for development here in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. How these new innovations are affecting the global business environment, how it's affecting us. Ultimately, we started a discussion on how people in the Caribbean can start building their own solutions, what needs to happen for companies to start going from zero to big enterprise in little to no time, in the way that we've seen things happen with organizations that we all know like Airbnb, Uber, and such like that, which in many cases didn't exist 10, even 15 years ago. Ultimately, what we offer is an all-inclusive campus-style environment where the best in the Caribbean meet the best in the world. And the idea generally is that people are able to connect in a very meaningful way. It's a very immersive experience. We primarily explore emerging technologies, right? So we've sparked a conversation that is not very typical in Jamaica. Things like blockchain technology, robotics, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality. But we look at them from a very practical level. What is happening in business, how things are shifting, and what we are known for is our ability to attract the best in the world, the best in industry in these spaces, right? Including, of course, our very own best in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean as well, right? So some of the speakers include people like Michelle Romano, who's a Dragon on Dragon's Den, and also the founder of a company called Clearbank. Founder of Vonage, a gentleman by the name of Jeff Pulver, who's joining our platforms for the second time. We have people coming from companies like MasterCard, Airbnb, Google, Facebook, and such like that. We actually have an official Facebook workshop happening at Tech Beach for digital marketers. But then on the other side, we have people like Nadine Matthews from NCB, who's leading the transformation of Jamaica's largest bank. We have people like the CEO of JMB Bank, Jerome Smalling. We have the CEO of BCIC Insurance, which is doing they're doing a lot of interesting things in the insurance space. A gentleman by the name of Peter Levy. So we also tend to look at what is happening on the ground and try and bring those conversations to the table as well, and give them a global platform to share what they're doing with the rest of the world.
So we're here tonight at the Tech Beach Retreat. Mixer, your thoughts?
I thought it was amazing. I mean, what Tech Beach is really good at is bringing the discussion that's happening at Silicon Valley and other places to Kingston, to Jamaica, and we did that again tonight. I mean, we talked a lot about how can we incorporate blockchain and AI into technology and into companies in Jamaica, and the insights that the panel gave were really, really good. So,
all right. Talk to us about Tech Beach itself. You've been before. Yeah. What do you think?
I've been every year that it has happened, and every year I can't walk away from the panels that are there because it's so engrossing to have the quality and the caliber of the people that are discussing at a very high level these changes that are going to affect every single human being for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So it's not missable at all. If you're interested in the trends in tech and the future of tech, you have to go to Tech Beach. There's nowhere else to go. Yeah.
The center, Branson Center officially moved to Kingston in 2017 after being Mobay since 2011. How was the transition and why?
It's been really fantastic because 70% of our entrepreneurs are actually based in Kingston, all of our partners, the media, etc. So we feel like we've really had more of an impact and we're more integrated into the entrepreneurship ecosystem being based here in the business hub of Jamaica. And I think we actually also changed our strategy to target scale-up entrepreneurs, growth stage entrepreneurs instead of startups, and that has had really amazing results. Lauren is is one of our entrepreneurs. He was on a panel here. He got a great investment this year from SSL Ventures too. And we have a lot of other entrepreneurs like that are investment ready, and you're going to see a lot more of them in the coming months.
What are your thoughts about the Tech Beach Retreat mixer this evening?
I think it's excellent. This is my first time here at the Mingle, and it would be my first time going to the retreat soon. I feel like it's a family here, brothers and sisters, very like-minded persons, and I'm excited to learn. I mean, I'll contribute where I can, but it's really about learning and sharing where we can, you know.
As someone that has a tech-based business, what would you say are some big challenges that are facing, I guess, startup businesses within the technology industry?
Well, you know, a lot of one of the challenges, especially for small businesses, is knowing what is out there. So researching what's the best systems available to you to meet your needs. From a simple point-of-sale system, there are so many out there you can buy, from the hardware to the software, etc. Those are challenges in and of itself. Another thing that maybe, you know, companies don't really pay close attention to is like security. To be really conscious of the risks involved with what you do take on board with your business. So there are a number of others, but those are two ones that jump to mind.
So talk to us about Growth Tech. What is it that you guys do?
Well, Growth Tech is a company that was conceptualized in 2016. So what we're doing is pretty much spreading connectivity in Jamaica, making connectivity like oxygen available to everyone everywhere. And with that, it segues nicely into this Tech Beach event, where they speak a lot about creating an ecosystem of technology to foster growth in Jamaica.
So talk to us about your company, Innovate 10X.
Okay, Innovate 10X is a passion of mine, where I'm actually looking at helping companies go along their digital transformation. So we know that there's a lot of technology out there. There's artificial intelligence, blockchain, big data. It's all happening now. It's now becoming mainstream. But 95% of companies in Jamaica doesn't understand anything about the technology, literally. They're still struggling with accounts payables, inventory management, basic CRM, much to worry about, where new and emerging technology can help them along their journey.
The panel discussion earlier spoke to challenges within our tech industry here. What would you say is one of the bigger ones?
It's actually still a matter of a lack of funding. I think most banks or people with the capital don't understand how to fund technology. They're still looking like a physical asset, a motor vehicle, a real estate. A funding a tech business. That's a big problem, because tech business is usually built on an idea that you want to produce something that is software based. It's not something that's is tangible, something that you can actually touch and feel, right? But we need more people to understand that, to be able to invest in it and feel comfortable that if you stick with the entrepreneur, if they're very determined, you're like to actually make a very good return. Similar like if you're investing in a manufacturing or a distribution company.
And that's it for Business Access TV's coverage of the Tech Beach Retreat Regional Roadshow Mixer right here at Regis in New Kingston. I've been your host, Amita Prasad-Webb, and thanks for tuning in. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business. Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more. No more crime.
In the words of Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Students, as you prepare for heading back to school, set some goals for this new year of learning. Work towards them and enjoy the fruits of your labor in the end. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. We have an interesting show lined up just for you, so stay tuned as the magazine unfolds.
Sign with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sign with me.
Back to school is right around the corner, and shopping is top priority now for parents. Get the Facts this week focuses on the Consumer Affairs Commission, the entity responsible for ensuring that you stay safe in the retail space.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. Making a purchase can be a wonderful experience, but if you're not careful, it can also be very disappointing. To help caution our activities is the Consumer Affairs Commission, and the agency's communication specialist, Dorothy Campbell, will take us through that process. Ms. Campbell, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.
Happy to be here.
Let's start by you telling us about your function, your role and function of the Consumer Affairs Commission.
Well, the Consumer Affairs Commission is the agency under the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries that is mandated to protect the consumers. And how we do that is through education, through market surveillance, and through redress of consumer complaints. These are the three main platforms under which we function.
Right. How do you go about educating the public?
Well, first off, we try to use our legislation, the Consumer Protection Act, to educate consumers about their rights and responsibilities as provided in the Act. This is one of the avenues we use as a media, such as programs such as these. We also do outreach in tertiary and high schools as well as primary schools. We go to social clubs when we're invited, and we also invite ourselves to organization meetings and so on in order to sensitize persons about their rights and responsibilities.
Right. So the visits to schools and colleges, I'm thinking, that is really active?
It's very active. The outreach, the Director of Research, as the Director of Field Operations, is responsible for outreach activities. And while we're constrained by finances as well as the kind of human resources, we do a fairly good job of going out to high schools, even technical training schools such as HART. We're ever present. And we do go to devotions, training institutions, and so on to ensure that it's a generational kind of education. So younger consumers are aware of their rights and responsibilities.
Right. And you also conduct market researches, right?
That's the core of who we are, is the market research, because our market surveillance ensures that there's a stabilization within the marketplace. And how we do that is that we ensure that the information that we collect on the market is distributed widely among the consumers. For instance, our petrol survey, we go across the entire island to monitor prices at the petrol at the pump. We do that for groceries as well, for some critical items selected by...
How often?
We do that once per month. We try to publish at least the majority or some parts of the information. We no longer publish all. It's very expensive, but we have found other platforms to share the information. So while we may publish in print some of that information, we use social media, our website, the digital media, and we're currently working on an app to help consumers to access the information.
So the information you published in print, that is every month?
That's monthly.
And all the newspapers?
Both newspapers.
Both newspapers,
Right.
yes.
Dailies, both the dailies.
And that's at the end of the month? What part of the month?
Well, that schedule sometimes varies because of not only the availability of the data, but sometimes the verification of the data takes a little while. We do this digitally, so it's uploaded immediately to our database when the survey officers go out. However, we do not publish until every single piece of that data is verified. So sometimes there's a glitch, and sometimes the verification process takes longer. So our schedule may be off a week or two, but we try our best to ensure that following the data collection, verification, we publish at least a couple weeks after that.
So what can we find in that publication? What is in it? How much bread is selling for here? How much is selling? What do you put it? How can we benefit as consumers?
Well, my CEO, Mrs. Dulcie Allen, would get me if I didn't give credit where credit is due. The Honorable Carl Samuda, in another jurisdiction when he was our portfolio minister, the brainchild of the Consumer Alert in that stoplight production, red for highest prices and green for the lower prices, that's his brainchild. And what we did, it was during the period of high prices, and what we did was to establish a kind of countdown. So across the parishes, we select the major shopping points for consumers, and we select those items from the critical basket that the Planning Institute of Jamaica selects as the items critical to Jamaicans, and we monitor those prices. So each supermarket or wholesale, it is identified, the prices, where you get the highest, where you get the lowest. And it was a critical tool in stabilizing prices, because no outlet wanted to have a red mark in their box. So it was really functional, and it still is.
Yes. So are people using it really?
People,
do you know?
People are using the price inquiry tool, which is another area on our website where you can go, select the parish, select the item, check the price, and do a comparison to the month before or the year before. A lot of students, tertiary students who are doing economics and other areas of study, they also use the data to do comparisons.
Okay.
So the consumers themselves, they also, especially for our annual textbook survey, which is also published under that Consumer Alert tool, they also use the information for monitoring prices of textbooks.
Right. Textbooks, yes, we'll come to that. Talk to us about your complaint resolution services.
Well, the complaints resolution services is something that we constantly try to encourage consumers to utilize. We have this attitude in Jamaica, we can't bother, and we let it slide. However, we try to encourage consumers to complain more often than the last quarter. We had 121 complaints. We want more. What happens is, when there is a kind of anomaly, or if you feel somehow that you've been wronged in the marketplace, you go back to the provider of service, the vendor, you state exactly what the breach is or what you think you've been wronged. You then seek some kind of compensation, redress, or refund. If that doesn't work, then you come to us at the Consumer Affairs Commission. But we always encourage consumers to seek first a kind of relationship with the vendor. Find out, to let them know what went wrong, try to resolve it. If not, then you come to us to file a complaint, and we do the investigations.
Okay. We'll talk about filing a complaint in our next segment. We're talking consumer protection with communication specialist at the Consumer Affairs Commission, Dorothy Campbell. We'll be right back.
We want a productive Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with communication specialist at the Consumer Affairs Commission, Dorothy Campbell. Ms. Campbell, what are some of the more frequent complaints that you get from consumers?
Well, the Consumer Affairs Commission has registered ever since we have been keeping records of complaints that the highest amount of complaints we receive are on about appliances and electrical equipment. It has always been that. And secondly, on motor vehicles.
On motor vehicles.
And then there are other categories that fall below
Right.
that, like furniture and etc.
Okay.
But it has always been electrical equipment, electrical appliances and equipment.
Yes. So how do you deal with complaints? And what's the process of getting, you started talking to us about that in the earlier segment.
Right. Well, what we do is that we encourage consumers to complain wherever they are. So if you're in the store and you are having a problem, or you're at the mechanic or wherever you are, you contact the Consumer Affairs Commission for anything unresolved. You may contact us by phone, you may email us, you may even send us a WhatsApp if you choose. Or you may walk into our offices in Kingston, Mandeville, or Montego Bay, and you sit down with a complaint officer who are, I must say, have been trained in dispute resolution strategies.
Okay.
Right. So they're equipped to deal with the aggressive sometimes.
Dispute though?
Because sometimes the confrontational way in which these cases evolve, you have to have the skill to get them to calm down in order to get some progress with the towards resolution.
So we can complain from our phone by sending you a text message, an email, or
go to our website, because our website does afford a complaints form. You can submit that. The complaint officer will then use that to contact the consumer. However, we must say you must always give us a contact number that is workable, working, and that we can use, because the first step is to speak with the complainant and then with the vendor, so that we can put the information together to determine whether or not.
So I filed my complaint. How long is this going to take?
Well, it depends. Some cases take 24 hours, some take 24 minutes, because very often a complaint comes to us because of the unwillingness of compromise between both the vendor and the consumer. And a simple intervention by the CAC would resolve that issue. However, it may also take 24 days if it's a case where, for instance, we need a third-party expert to either run some tests and give us an independent report, or if we need the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica to test an item. So it depends on what the nature of the complaint is about.
So you have a set time within which you start the process.
Right.
And that would be...
A consumer can expect a call back if they submit a complaint within a day or two. Most consumers will receive a call within a day or two. But we do have a standard within the office that the process would go within 9 days. However, if the vendor is not responding to our queries or our demands, depending on the level, then it will extend the period of investigation.
So we're in back to school shopping period. Everybody's out now shopping, busy. What are some of the advice? What advice will you give people who are shopping now for school books, for shoes, for all the things you need for your children?
Well, the first thing that the Consumer Affairs Commission advises parents to do is to shop at home first. So you do your research at home, because going out to shop means that you would have done your comparative shopping. You've already located the best prices, where you're going to buy what, because the one-stop shop sounds convenient, but it's not always the best way to go about it. So what we try to do is we offer the annual textbook survey, which is the database comes from the Ministry of Education. It gives us all the approved texts. We then verify those texts in terms of publication, edition, etc. And then we go, we have our field officers, our survey officers go to the bookstores to verify availability and price. Once we have done that, we then determine the publication and we do our analysis. The research department, they're working very hard right now to go through the data to ensure that the books that they have are the books that have been approved, and even the approved list are the matches back to the list that the schools
So edition 15, you have to buy that because edition 14 will be different.
Exactly.
Yes. Let's move now to buying shoes. When we're buying shoes for the children, we should not go. There are some tips not to go in the evening or what else? Any advice
Yes,
on that?
we normally ask consumers to be wise about shoe shopping, because what happens is that the body functions in a weird kind of way, especially in the summer. And the kids, they're playing football, they're doing everything, the feet are swollen.
Right.
So they fit differently in the evening than in the morning.
And always take the child with you.
And
It's
always take the child with you, because they do their growth spurts into summer.
Yes.
So you might think you have a size 6 when you go, it's a size 7. So
to prevent having to return an item, and I talk about is there a returns policy?
There's not a general
Because you know what
return
happened? I went to
policy.
buy something last week, and the person in the store told me I cannot return it. I said, "What if I take it? So it doesn't work? Can I take it back?" She frankly said, she just said no.
Well,
what?
There's no general return policy that we can impose on a vendor. However, if you have bought an item and that item does not function in the manner in which it was, then the CAC will step in and say to that vendor, the consumer has a right.
Yes. Not if you don't like it, if you don't like it again.
No, we don't arbitrarily defend the consumer on just a trivial thing as I don't like the color or I changed my mind or no.
But if it doesn't function.
But if it doesn't function, or it's a substandard good, or for instance, you buy a wedding dress and it doesn't fit properly for your wedding, a reasonable vendor will understand that there must be an exchange at this point because of the critical purpose of the item.
Yes.
So it takes a matter of reasonableness between the vendor and the consumer. And very often, that's how we get to intervene.
Yes.
And we resolve issues based on just reasoning with the vendor to say, you need your customers. Yes.
So as we wrap, just remind us what to do if we need to get to the Consumer Affairs Commission.
Well, you can do the traditional snail mail, but you may email us. You may call us at 876-906-5425. You may hit us up on Facebook and send us a message, or you may go to our website and send us, go on our complaints resolutions form, or you may send us an email at info@cac.gov.jm. And if it's a complaint, if it's advice, if it's tips for back to school, whatever the reason, consumer alert publication, we're saying hit us up on any of those. And we're going to now put a plug in because we are now about to launch our free app. So we're asking persons to go to the Google Play Store, download the CAC app, and you will get your consumer alerts, you will get your news about any food safety issue, etc.
Okay, one last thing. Where can persons access the textbook survey?
Well, that has not yet been published, but it will be published partially on our website at www.cac.gov.jm, and we are hoping to partner with some publications to ensure that consumers are able to get that. But we say to parents, they can call us and we can access whatever parish, location, bookstore for the prices on their behalf.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you for having me.
This has been Get the Facts, and our guest was Dorothy Campbell, Communication Specialist at the Consumer Affairs Commission. To watch this program again, log on to our social media handle, YouTube/WatchJIS, and stay connected via our website at jis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm Enthros Campbell. Take good care.
Did you know? The consequence of not exercising, consuming excessive sugars, trans fat, sodium and alcohol, and smoking is that sooner or later you will become seriously ill? These are known causes of non-communicable diseases, known to damage critical organs in the body, rendering them dysfunctional, leading to premature death. Avoid the unhealthy habits, treat your body right, eat well, exercise, and live longer, more productive lives.
It's never too late to start the healthy journey. So check out this next feature to find out the nutrients your body needs to ensure good health.
Eating healthy by having a balanced diet consisting of items from all the food groups and consuming the right portions is important to get the nutrients vital for disease prevention, growth, and good health. Essential nutrients are building blocks for the cells that make up the body, from bone to muscle, skin, and hair. One of the most critical ones is protein, which is made up of different amino acids, some of which the body can make on its own. We need a variety of proteins to function properly, many of which can only come from the foods we eat. Meats, fish, and eggs are essential sources from animals, while plant sources include beans, nuts, and some grains. How much protein you need daily depends on a variety of factors, including how active you are and your age. Carbohydrates are the main nutrients for fueling the body's energy needs, especially our central nervous system and brain. They help protect against diseases, but some carbohydrates are healthier than others. Some healthy sources include your fresh produce, such as yam, banana, breadfruit, and tubers, as well as whole grains, fiber-rich vegetables, and fruits. Less healthy sources include refined grains and products with added sugar. Fats often get a bad rap, but it's important to know that healthy fats are essential to our body's function. Fats aid in vitamin and mineral absorption, blood clotting, building cells, and muscle movement. Fats are high in calories, which is a measure of energy from foods, but the World Health Organization recommends keeping daily calorie intake from fat at under 30%. Including healthy fats, which are the unsaturated fats in your diet, can help balance blood sugar, decrease the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and improve brain function. Healthy fats are also powerful anti-inflammatories and can lower the risk for arthritis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Some of the well-known unsaturated fats are the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Sources of these healthy fats include fish, seeds, nuts, and vegetable oils, olive, avocado, and flax seeds. Trans fats are to be avoided, and we should also limit our intake of saturated fats, of which the main sources are animal-based and include butter, cheese, red meat, and ice cream. Vitamins are organic compounds essential for normal growth and are required in small quantities. There are 13 essential vitamins that the body needs, and these help lower the risk of diseases such as lung and prostate cancer. Vitamin A supports healthy vision, skin, and bones. Powerful antioxidants like vitamin C boost the immune system and helps the body heal. Eating a varied and well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables should supply the body with the required vitamins. Minerals are also important nutrients needed for building strong bones and teeth. They help with regulating our body's metabolism and keeping us properly hydrated. The mineral calcium strengthens bones and teeth and helps with nerve signal transmission. It also helps to maintain healthy blood pressure and with muscle contraction and relaxation. Iron supports red blood cells and hormone creation, while the mineral zinc boosts the immune system and wound healing. The body also needs water, which improves brain function and mood, and acts as a shock absorber and lubricant in the body. Water also flushes our toxins, carries nutrients to cells, hydrates the body, and prevents constipation. Even mild dehydration can make us feel tired and impair concentration and physical performance. In addition to drinking water, we can hydrate ourselves by eating fruits and vegetables such as spinach and watermelon. Start treating your body right. As you grab your next meal, make sure you're getting all the nutrients needed in their right proportion.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JSIF has forged relationships with international funding partners as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities. Let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JSIF, investing for community development.
The new school year is just a week away, and the State Minister for Education, Youth and Information, Alanda Terrelong, has a message for you.
I know sometimes many students get caught up in the hype of technology, and whilst technology is important, we must never forget ourselves. Some students get caught up in the latest cell phones. They want the latest Samsung. They want the latest iPhones. They want the latest Clarks. They want the latest bags. They get caught up in the material things that will fade. I guarantee you, young men and young women, my young kings and my young queens, that your education is the one thing that will never, never leave you. Your education is the one thing that no one else can ever take away from you.
Remember your goals, remember what you stand for, and make the best of your education as we make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica. No dirty up Jamaica. No dirty up Jamaica. No dirty up Jamaica.
Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Download our app on your Apple and Android devices, and you can also visit our website at jis.gov.jm for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
The business community has suffered tremendously due to extortion. Some have not just lost their businesses, their jobs, but lost their lives. This is extremely impactful to the growth of our country and to the progress of our people. We are our brother's keeper. Let's put a stop to this. No more use of force. No more use of fear. No more extortion. No more.
Housing schemes were introduced in Jamaica at a time when many Jamaicans couldn't afford to own a home. Building houses in mass served to be a cheap home ownership option and has remained so. This week we take a look at a company that has a legacy for such development.
I am Janelle Brown, Marketing and Sales Manager for Wicon, West Indies Home Contractors Limited. Our Wicon homes, I think top of mind for me is value for money. They're also very practical and very functional homes that we definitely give serious thought to the market that we're targeting and what it is that they're looking for in converting a house to a home. That's our foremost thought when we put pen to paper and design the units and then we build them. We have been known and we continue to be known for mass construction. Building communities, building a nation is our motto. So for instance, if an individual comes to us and they have a lot or a piece of land and they want us to build on that property for them, we won't offer that service. That's not something that we offer. What we go out is we look for tracts of land that we can do several units on, and then we build out those units and then we sell them to our clients. Wicon will be 60 years old next year, so we've been around for a long time. We've done quite a few developments that people will likely recall but not probably realize that it was us who did them. For instance, Mona was done by Wicon. Huendon was done by Wicon. Most popular, I think, would be Portmore. Most people will know that we did the first big development in Portmore. We transformed the housing industry during a time when most other persons were constructing single units. We went into mass production to create an opportunity for the average person to own a home. And that has been our mandate ever since. So we began in 1958 officially, working through our own units and then moved into partnerships with varying other entities. We have since moved away from those partnerships and we're now back on our own doing our wholly and solely owned developments. And we've learned a lot during those partnerships. I think the exchange of ideas has been good for both parties that benefited. And now we have developed what we would say are units that are more geared towards the mid-tier market, having initially focused more on mass. Not that we're moved away from the mass because we are still going to be doing mass products, but at this point we're doing a bit more. We're showing the Jamaican populace that we can do both. We can offer mass and we can offer some a little bit more upscale units as well. For the one closest to home, that would be Forest Ridge. That's just up the foot of Red Hills, not even 1 minute away from the base of Red Hills. Those we offer combination units on, so they currently have studios, 2-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom condos, and 3-bedroom condos. Those are more designed with a contemporary look and feel. So we're targeting that mid-tier, as I said to you before, and those have a breathtaking view of the Red Hills area, as you can imagine, because of where they're positioned. So those are our most current developments. Because it's studios going up to condominiums, they range from 16 to 34, depending on what you're choosing. We have a development in Greater Portmore, that's the Vermont. Those units are semi-detached townhouses, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Those, as I had indicated before, one of the things that we were doing was going more mid-tier, and those would fall in that mid-tier. We have offered for those units a little bit more than what would normally obtain in the market. Those units come with water tanks and the pumps fully installed already, so persons don't have to go and get that done. Because we know Portmore tends to have issues sometimes with water, so we ensure we have that in place. They also come with a solar water heater, solar panels, and we also have a PV 500 alternate power source for battery power source, so when the light goes, then you have a backup system that you can use as well. The prices on those are 15.2.
Hi, welcome to the Vermont. Come on in. Development houses 76 units, of course 24-hour security, a community center, children's play area, and multi-purpose courts, mainly for basketball and netball. All the units that we have constructed are 2 beds, 2.5 bath townhouses, which is an under roof of 955 square feet and an overall lot size of 1,800 square feet. Of course, living, dining, kitchen, covered patio, and an enclosed wash area. As we have gone green with this development, you will get a 800-gallon water tank, a solar water heater, and a 500-watt PV system where you would get up to 5 hours of solar system from the unit.
We take our first break here on Home Sweet Home. More when we return.
It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Welcome back to Home Sweet Home. We've journeyed to Montego Bay to take a look at one of Wicon's newest developments.
I am Dawn McNaughton. I am the customer service and sales coordinator for the Meadows of Irwin Housing Development here at Montego Bay. Irwin is just above the din of the city of Montego Bay. It's actually 10 minutes from Fairview. There is a country feel about being in Irwin. There are 4 phases to the development. We start phase 1, which was done several years ago. Then we did 38 unit houses on Northridge, 2 beds, 1 bath houses on Northridge. Then phase 2B, which consisted of 2 beds, 1 bath semi-detached houses and 2 beds, 1 bath detached houses. Phase 3 consisted of 2 beds, 1 bath detached houses. We are now in phase 4, which consists of a mix of 2 beds, 1 bath, 2 beds, 2 baths, and 3 beds, 2 baths detached houses. The people spoke and Wicon listened. They wanted bigger houses, and based on the NHD increase in the benefits, most persons are now able to afford the 2 beds, 2 baths houses. The square footage of the house, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, is 882 square feet. And I must tell you about that Wicon houses do have very high ceilings, so that makes the house cool. That's one of our main features. I find persons like it. Persons come in and say the area is quiet. You may see workmen around, but there is no noise, like there is no loud music, that sort of thing. It's quiet. So persons like it for that feature. Our 2 beds, 2 bath houses start at $11.8 million. And our 3 bedrooms, 2 bathroom units start at $13.8 million. The acreage of the entire development, it's 147 acres of land. So in the Meadows of Irwin development, there are amenities. Amenities including we have green spaces, open areas, parks. There'll be 2 main parks, and within that there are also other green areas. They are already established. The football field, the multipurpose court, there is a clubhouse or community center, and a children's play area with play equipment installed. So the children and the community have been using the facilities already. Persons may come in, we guide them through what the process is. We show them what we have available. We go through showing them the model units. And persons, based on our map, persons look on our map and decide, okay, I want to be here and I want to be there. So based on what they're looking at or where they would want to be in the development, looking at 2 or 3 lots, we can work out immediately what they need to be qualified for and what they need to find out of their pocket. So a pre-qualification letter is tantamount to your purchasing a house in the Meadows of Irwin. So when we have that pre-qualification letter in front of us and it states what the person or persons are qualified for, and based on what their needs are and what they want to buy, be it a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house or a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, we can do the calculations right then and there based on what they're qualified for to show the person what that person needs to find out of his own pocket in addition to what the mortgage company will cover. This is the master plan of the Meadows of Irwin Housing Development, and it's labeled, Phase 1, you entered here. So this is the entrance, this is the guardhouse, and you came down to us here. So this is Phase 1. Those houses that would have been on your left when you were coming in, that's Phase 1. Now we are in Phase 4, as I had said to you. So you will see all phases of construction going on in some areas of Phase 4. Phase 3 was already done and they're occupied, and Phase 2B was already done, already occupied, all of this. We are just now finishing up in Phase 4. So we have houses that are in different areas of readiness. So we handed over all these 50 on top of the hill. We're preparing another 20 for handing over shortly. By next week, we should be handing over, while other units are in the process of being inspected. And then you see some houses that have roofs on, some that is being prepared for roofing, that sort of thing. Lots vary by size and shape, so it's what you want. So you can always get a bigger lot, you can get a big corner lot like this one. Bear in mind that you're going to pay a premium price for being on the corner. For any lot that you have a wide expanse of backyard or yard generally, you're going to pay more, because there is a standard lot size. Standard lot size is 3,800 square feet. So anything above that standard, you are required to pay more. There are advantages to being on a corner, you know. You can always have another gate that you drive in from the side and have your carport to the back of the yard. So there are advantages. There are restrictive covenants. We ask that you maintain the exterior color that you are given with the house. You will know what the color is because we give you a homeowner's manual with the name, the color, the brand, and everything where you can access this. So once you do an expansion, you're expected to carry the exterior color onto the expanded area. Another restrictive covenant is that you're asked not to build on top of the existing house. You cannot build a garage or carport to the front of the house. You can expand, your expansion should be at the back of the house. You cannot change the front because all the setbacks have already been observed. So if you're going to expand, you must, of course, have your drawings done by an architect. A reputable architect must warn you. And these drawings should be submitted to the parish council for approval. Once you have your approval, you build according to the approved plan. And us as developers, we ask that you deposit a copy of that approved plan with us. It's a fenced community, and it consists of a guardhouse at the entrance exit that will be manned by a security officer to control the flow of people coming in and going out. The advantage of having one entrance exit, that you're able to manage who comes in and who goes out. Here's a police post here. The police post is in the community. Here is a clubhouse, the children's play area, the football field right here, and the multi-purpose court here. So there are things in place for children to be active and not cooped up in the house. The adults as well. This map is showing you all of Phase 4. Yes, wherever there is a pin, as you can see, pins all over the map, it means that the unit is already sold. Yes, so we just have a few left to sell. Yes, so wherever you don't see a pin, you can choose your lot.
My name is Carnell Campbell. I'm the project engineer for West Indies Home Contractors Limited. That's WICON. My typical job entails one that involves the full supervision of all construction activities on site. Starting from the foundation, that's from checking reinforcement, ensuring that everything is in the right place, plumbing, electrical, followed by spraying at the foundation, because we spray the foundations for like pests or pest control. Additionally, once the foundation is cast, which I also order the concrete, measure up and order the concrete, once that foundation has been cast, it's down to the fabrication and applying the formwork, which we use aluminum forms. Once the formwork has been done, we prepare for the casting, which we either use island concrete or premix. Once the casting has been done, which that normally takes like a few hours, after that has been done, we prepare for roof framing. That is a typical roof framing. Once the roof framing has been done, it is followed by sheeting, which, as you can see, that's the sheeting which is done by a TMP, Tropical Metal Products Contractors. I supervise those works in terms of ensuring that the roof is level, ensure that everything is in order for the sheeting. Once sheeting has been done, I organize with Alcor, who supply the windows as well as provide the labor force to get that done. So we ensure that the windows are installed according to certain specs, ensure that the windows are caulked, as well as ensure that all locks are in order and everything is functioning well according to the window specs. Additionally, once the windows have been installed, we ensure that our masonry work are intact. I supervise the masonry work as well. Additionally, once the masonry work has been done, we sure coat the unit, sure coat in terms of plaster the walls, ensure that they are adequately prepared for painting. Once the sure coating has been done, it's time to sand and prime the unit. Once the unit has been sanded and primed, which supervision is done for that as well, we install the cabinet fixtures. Once the cabinet fixtures has been installed, we go to the plumbing fixtures in terms of bath, what you would say now in terms of face basins, everything along that sort in terms of plumbing, ensuring that everything is intact. Once those works internally has been done, we prepare for the full handing over to the homeowners. So all the works that's involved in the construction of a particular unit, that is what I am involved in.
Don't go anywhere. Home Sweet Home will be right back.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
Welcome back. We're still here with Janelle, who will wrap things up on Week on Homes.
For Meadows of Irwin, I mean, that has hit the market, has been on point with that market, because people, as you know, have been looking for that kind of a home. So they are really, really excited about it, and those units have been going pretty fast. Persons in the Mobile area are more looking for homes rather than studios or townhouses, because there's still, the culture is to have land space where you can do your planting and that sort of a thing. So you can do your extensions as well. So we made those fully detachable units because we know that's what the market demands. In the Portmore area, the Greater Portmore area, we know that a lot of the units are semi-detached. And so we went for that. The more you come into Kingston now, you know that land is tight and there are a lot more apartments and that sort of a thing. So that's hence we went for the design for Forest Ridge. For the Vermont, they haven't moved as fast as we would have liked. And I think because it's the first of its kind in that area with those amenities like the water tanks, the solar panels, the alternate power source supply, the pricing on them is a little bit more than what people had anticipated. So they're not moving as fast as we would have hoped, but they're still going on the market. And then Forest Ridge, those are a little slow as well. The closer you get to Kingston, there's a lot more opportunities for alternate homes. And we find that the construction industry has really taken off a lot. As you can see, everywhere you go, you see buildings going up, whether they're townhouses, apartments, etc. So the competitive playing field there has been a little bit tighter for us. So those units haven't moved as fast as we would have hoped as well. Our name has been our strength for quite some time and will continue to be, because we have revolutionized the housing industry, and I mean it's something that we continue to do. We always look for a different angle to present our units at. I mean, case in point is the Meadows of Irwin and the Smart Home that we have partnered with on that project with JPS to offer something different to our customers. So we're always looking for that edge, for that something little extra to offer our customers, to show them that, hey, we're thinking about you, we understand what your needs are, and we want to make sure that we're offering you what it is that you're looking for. We try to ensure that when we do hand over, that the community is in a position to sustain themselves. So we encourage the formation of a homeowners association, or what we call a strata, so that when we do finish handing over the units, that there's a structure in place to maintain the community and not have things fall apart after we go. We've come to recognize that there is a viable market overseas in the Jamaican diaspora. And for that reason, we have, for the past couple of years, been focused on going out to the diaspora, meeting them where they are and sharing with them what we have to offer in terms of our units. And as it stands right now, we have persons who live overseas who have bought units at the Meadows, and we do have persons who live overseas who have bought units at Forest Ridge as an investment option for them as well. So we know that there is opportunity there, and we have been aggressively pursuing the diaspora market for that very reason. We know that owning a home is major. It's major. We want to ensure and reassure our customers that yes, you can do it. We will work with you, we will guide you, ensure that you bring in all the necessary documentation so you can purchase your home.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up a Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Business Access. Use Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious.
Serious about business.
Business Access TV welcomes you to the Mona School of Business and Management, launch of the 4th Business and Management Conference. Stay tuned for the highlights.
I just want to say that the Mona School of Business, of course, is the premier institution for master's and undergraduate learning and business education, providing cutting-edge consulting services, public policy, research, and applied research to the many challenges that face our country, that face industries, that face institutions, and of course businesses, including small businesses. And so today we introduce a conference which will take on many of these challenges that all of these areas confront in the 4th Industrial Revolution, which is going to transform the world as we know it, and is actually now in force and taking even more rapid effect. The rate of change is changing very fast. Not just the change, but the rate of change is changing. So with those preliminary remarks, I again welcome you to this briefing and invite the convener of the conference, Dr. Indiana Minto-Coy, my colleague, to brief us on the proceedings.
So as mentioned before, I am Indiana Minto-Coy, Senior Research Fellow here at the Mona School of Business and Management and the conference chair. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this launch event, which marks the MSBM's 4th Business and Management Conference. The conference itself will be held at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, July 10 to 12, 2019. And it's being held under the theme, Delivering on the Promise of Entrepreneurship, Critical Perspectives on Research, Practice, and Thinking in the 4th Economy. The choice of the theme, the conference theme, Delivering on the Promise of Entrepreneurship, is not a coincidence. Entrepreneurship has long been recognized as the foundation of growth and development, as well as of business, scholarship, and practice. For Jamaica and the Caribbean, entrepreneurship has assumed greater currency, with the government of Jamaica noting entrepreneurship and innovation as key planks for growth. Institutions such as the DBJ, in partnership with the IDB, have increased their activities in this area, including as it relates to funding and exposure through venture competitions, among other things. Organizations such as the JBDC and the Jamaica Stock Exchange, who is represented here today as well, have been playing a pivotal role in fostering an environment in which entrepreneurship can thrive. The number of entrepreneurship training and competitions have also increased. Indeed, the staging of the Jamaica National Social Enterprise Conference in 2017 and the launch of the Jamaica Social Exchange marks the expansion into the social sector and a recognition of the power of entrepreneurship in developing the social economy and in fostering community empowerment. Taken together, these initiatives point to the development of what we suggest is a 4th economy, with much promise for economic transformation in Jamaica. The Mona School of Business and Management is mindful of its role in fostering the development of this fourth economy, the entrepreneurial economy. First, by providing a space for constructive dialogue and training, and secondly, by addressing what we recognize as the absence of literature in this area, particularly as it relates to small developing states. This MSBM has already advanced, significant on this mandate. This through, for example, our VC Hosang venture competition, our degree and training programs in entrepreneurship, and our championing of entrepreneurship across the university. And so, it is only fitting that as an entity, we also play a leading role in bringing together the major players in Jamaica's entrepreneurial ecosystem. In fact, research on entrepreneurial ecosystems speak to the importance of policy. We have the minister here today representing that arm. It speaks to facilitative institutions and organizations. We have the DBJ, the JBDC. It speaks to the importance of investors and platforms to facilitate investments through, for example, the Jamaica the Jamaica Exchange, Stock Exchange, and the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Thank you, Michael, for coming. The importance of the private sector is mentioned as well, and we have New Fortress here, who represents that arm. And we have on our program, as we'll get into, Mr. Joseph Matalon, representing those from the private sector who have garnered years of experience and who can act as mentors for entrepreneurs. Given the nature of our context as small island developing states with successful multilateral partnerships, it's also fitting that we have the IDB, an integral player in that ecosystem as well. For us, the university, academia, the research speaks to the role of research and the role of the university as a key part of this entrepreneurial ecosystem. The Mona School of Business and Management and the University of the West Indies is therefore a critical player, given its role in shaping the minds and developing the skills necessary for economic and social transformation. Our importance, however, is not only because we're a body that generates knowledge and we do training, but we're also a neutral ground that facilitates multi-sectoral debate and action. And so in fulfilling this role, the MSBM has brought together a stellar group of speakers, international and local speakers, to chart the path for entrepreneurship and innovation.
I would like to say welcome to the Mona School of Business and Management, and in particular to this media launch of our business conference. I would like in particular to welcome Minister Aldershaw, who is now rightly the Minister of Everything, because I see here, sir, that you have 4 large areas under your BICAP. We're particularly pleased that you would take time out to come for a launch of a conference on entrepreneurship. And for those who say nothing is going on at MSBM, I can tell you Minister Aldershaw doesn't turn up when that place is where nothing is happening. To our sponsors, and I feel like I know my sponsors personally as well as professionally. And so to the major sponsors, Indiana would have listed them, but in particular, I'd like to welcome Verona, Milverton, and Terry, and the rest of our sponsors, representatives here. We can't do this without the participation of the business community. That is why we have these conferences. Our role is very simple. We take global and local knowledge and we generate regional solutions. That's why we research. That's why we teach. Our students are our best products. They represent the best of us and the best of what we do. Our research represents also the best of our faculty. We're very proud of our faculty. Most of us here are trained at UWI, a top 5% university. I repeat that slowly for the minister. Top 5% UWI. But we also know that we're an island, so our faculty are drawn from a wide range of universities Oxford, Cambridge, University of Toronto, Columbia, etc. Why do we say this? We want to impress on you that the work we do here, the scholarship we take on, is world class. We make no apologies for saying that. We won't tell you we're perfect students, we put out perfect students or we're perfect faculty. But I will tell you that what we produce is world class, as evidenced by the high percentage of our graduates who go away. And so we come to entrepreneurship, which is one of the puzzles we have to unlock and solve for the growth of the country. We in Jamaica seem to be imbued with a natural entrepreneurial spirit, but we also seem to find ways to block it at home. And so, as we seek to develop and promote, we also have to clear the way. And that is why I'm pleased that both in terms of our sponsors and our partners, it is an interesting mix of the public and private sector, because neither sector alone will unlock or harness the true potential of the Jamaican entrepreneur or the Caribbean entrepreneur, as we are a regional university.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
On behalf of New Fortress Energy, I am really delighted to join you for the media launch of the 4th Annual Mona School of Business and Management Conference, which this year looks at entrepreneurship, which is a big passion of Wes Edens, our founder. We are indeed happy to be partnering and once again to continue shining the spotlight on the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Jamaica, which is a big passion, as I said, for our founder and chairman, who believes in the powerful effects of how entrepreneurs can fuel the engine for vibrant economies and job creation. For us at U Fortress, our commitment and mission is to provide the capital, expertise, and vision to develop and grow Jamaica's LNG sector, which is liquefied natural gas, all while empowering communities, and I heard Indiana spoke about communities, which is a very powerful aspect of what we try to do, to help communities to grow in making meaningful contribution to the socio-economic development of our country. Since we started in Jamaica, our philanthropic footprint has seen us focusing on 3 key areas that we feel are critical to leading any economy to sustain growth. These are education, community development, and entrepreneurship. Working in these 3 pillars have led us to some amazing partnerships with companies who share in our vision of empowering communities in which we have our operations and outfitting them with the required skills to be more self-sufficient. Last year, we were very happy to have led a team from UWI, including Dr. McBean, to visit the Jonathan M. Nelson School of Entrepreneurship at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. And we held in-depth discussions and conversation on how we can collaborate and forge stronger relationships with the institution and Mona School of Business, which really translated in the Mona School of Business and Development Bank of Jamaica hosting Danny Warsaw from the Jonathan Nelson Center for Entrepreneurship. We held a 2-day entrepreneurship workshop at the University of the West Indies, where we had over 200 business students, and at the Jamaica Pegasus with over 100 entrepreneurs. Basically, Danny leaned in on core business practices and techniques about the importance of research as entrepreneurs and how to ensure that their business are not only fulfilling their passion, but that it is actually solving a problem in society, because that's what will make their venture impactful and sustainable. Importantly, we also recognize that tomorrow's economic drivers are really sitting in today's classroom. Therefore, at NFE, we believe it's very important to include entrepreneurship as a core aspect of the school's curriculum from very early, because of the fundamental role that these students will play in driving Jamaica's economic outlook.
The Development Bank of Jamaica is indeed very pleased to participate in the Mona School of Business and Management 4th Business Conference that is set to take place from the 11th to the 12th of July. And indeed, the theme of the conference, delivering on the promise of entrepreneurship, critical perspectives on research, practice, and thinking in the fourth economy, aligns very well with the mission, vision, and the operations of the Development Bank of Jamaica. And indeed, was central to our own conference that we held earlier this month from July 10th to 13th. Our focus then was primarily on linkages between private equity financing and infrastructure investment opportunities, what I would refer to as the bread and butter issues that drive our economy as we find new and innovative ways to deliver the much needed services to Jamaican people. So I am pleased to hear that this conference will provide a space for multi-sector dialogue between academia and business on matters such as youth entrepreneurship, financing entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, legal and regulatory matters for entrepreneurs. Those are all issues which the Development Bank of Jamaica, which we address constantly through the various programs and products and projects that we provide directly to Jamaican entrepreneurs. And some of these include, for example, our Ignite program, which provides significant grants, mentorship, coaching, among other critical business support services to young entrepreneurs. The wide range of loans, low-cost loans that we provide, the collateral support under our credit enhancement facility for persons who don't have the necessary collateral to access financing. And finally and importantly, the legal, taxation, and regulatory reform that our venture capital and private equity program is undertaking to create an ecosystem that is more conducive to entrepreneurship.
This afternoon, I am here and we're pleased as IDB to be a part of another significant collaboration with Mona School of Business and Management. Our work at IDB throughout the Caribbean and in Jamaica is deep-rooted in valuable win-win partnerships with the government and people as a whole. In IDB, our strategy is to improve lives by helping Jamaica to drive economic growth. These include promoting private sector productivity, developing human capital, and addressing cross-cutting issues such as crime, gender, and resilience to climate shock. We're pleased to be a part, played our part in the country's inspirational journey leading towards transformation and stabilization of the economy, which is evidenced by the positive economic growth we have seen over the last 16 consecutive quarters. The notable decline in the country's debt to GDP ratio, which fell below 100% from 135 in 2013, and I believe it's estimated at about 96%. We believe that this conference, which seeks to deliver on the promise of entrepreneurship, is quite timely for several reasons, and I think Milverton mentioned a few of them. The world is experiencing a fourth industrial revolution where artificial intelligence, 3D printing, genetic coding, machine learning, robotics, big data, blockchain, which is being touted every day, is converging, and it's disrupting production, commercialization, the distribution of goods and services. These massive technological changes are producing radical threats to established businesses. For example, we see the disruption in the hotel industry with the Airbnb model, which poses a unique opportunity for our entrepreneurs here in Jamaica with this disruption. So our tech-savvy and creative entrepreneurs have this opportunity to be at the forefront with major players out there, because the skills that are being produced in Jamaica from our universities, it's on par with every other university. So we especially note the growing capacity of the universities in generating research, intellectual property, and building our local talent in technology and in business, which is evidenced in some cases even by the different competitions that we have won, international competitions in robotics, pitches, and business model events.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
I invite none other than Minister Odishaw, if you give him a big hand, to share his insights today towards advancing the conference. And thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you.
I'm happy at occasions like this because, you know, development is a building process. And we have we have a lot to do. And we have to be more aggressive in how we get things done. And I'm really pleased to be associated with this launch and look forward to that. I want to congratulate the School of Business for staging this 4th Business and Management Conference. You know, in modern societies, the simultaneous developments of entrepreneurship and human skills have become catalysts for a country to achieve economic growth and social advancement. And our MSME sector is a nursery for entrepreneurship, often driven by individual creativity and innovation. Unfortunately, and we have to be very blunt, entrepreneurship has taken a lot of battering in Jamaica in recent times. And I can, you know, I can speak from personal experience with that. And I kind of mentioned some of it last week when I spoke in the House before I left for Rome on the occasion of the tribute to the former Prime Minister, Mr. Seaga. And when I finished that tribute, one of my colleagues from across the floor told me he was saddened at the fact that I made the point that in a period in the 1990s, some of you are so young you can't even focus on that, but in the 1990s, we had an annual average interest rate of 55% for 10 years. That would become an incredible challenge to anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur. And I can tell you, I lost at least 2 businesses as a result of that. I borrowed money at 15%, which was already high. And then you keep getting letters marked 60%, 70%, 80%, 120% penalty on overdraft. So I bought and lost a hardware business. I bought and lost a gas station. I have been there, I've experienced it. And one of the things I've pledged to do when I came into public service, we could not continue like that. And I said it, I remember first time around as Minister of Finance, I said, if I have to haul the financial sector kicking and screaming into single-digit interest rates, I will. And guess what? We did. We did. That becomes part of the firmament for the growth of the entrepreneurial sector, for which we have a clear propensity in Jamaica, no question about it.
We are having this conference that we just spoke about earlier this afternoon. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, why this focus on the entrepreneurship and the 4th economy for this conference?
Well, entrepreneurship is a very important topic, not just conceptually, but practically. In fact, many of the developing countries, or most developed countries, they've heralded entrepreneurship and innovation as the cornerstone of their growth and development. And so here in Jamaica, and in fact the wider Caribbean, there's been growing focus on entrepreneurship and how we can use this as an engine of growth for our economy. This is an initiative for a focus of the government of Jamaica. It's a focus for the University of the West Indies, and certainly the Mona School of Business and Management is a key player in driving the dialogue on that topic.
Okay, so I would like to follow up now by asking you, who are your general participants and what other kinds of topics are you planning to cover?
So our participants that we expect to benefit immensely from the conference include entrepreneurs, the civil society organizations, because we're also focusing on social entrepreneurship and social enterprise, businesses, investors. We have the Jamaica Stock Exchange, for example, who will be speaking about going public. So any entity who wishes, even in the future, to go public, those who wish to find out about financing youth entrepreneurship, gender and entrepreneurship, family-owned businesses, all of those topics will be covered. And one of the important aspects of the conference as well will be our session on impact investment. And here we will be looking at how foundations, private sector can rejuvenate their corporate social responsibility through impact investment.
Thanks for joining us. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
This week on Wealth Magazine Business Access, we sit with Ricky Mahfood, Executive Chairman at Hawkeye Electronics and Security Limited. On this episode, Mahfood explains how his upbringing has impacted him as a leader and why he is so passionate about keeping commitments.
Your word is your bond, and that has been something that has driven me. If you make a commitment, honor it.
Ricky Mahfood also tells us how Hawkeye continues to revolutionize the security industry and what's next for this Jamaican company.
I'm Ricky Mahfood. I'm the Executive Chairman of Hawkeye Electronic Security Limited. Ricky Mahfood is a family man, someone who is passionate about his wife and his children, and passionate about his Lord and serving him. I can be intense at times and focused when I need something done and done properly. And maybe some people may see me as a, type A personality, very driven and so on. And I guess in a way that I am driven by what is important to me and what I believe I am called to do. So that's probably a little of who I am. I was born in Kingston in 1958. Growing up in Kingston brings back very fond memories for me. A lot of our cousins lived relatively close to us, and on the weekends we would be together playing football, riding around the neighborhood, and as we grew older, riding motorcycles and so on. So I have really good memories of those days. I attended Surbiton Prep, and then from there went to Ligani Prep and on to Wolmer's Boys School. I entered Wolmer's in 1971, and in 72, you may not remember, but Wolmer's won the Manning Cup, the Olivia Shield, and the Walker Cup. So those are memories that are ingrained in me, can't forget that. I left Wolmer's at the end of fourth form at 74, and our family migrated to Miami, where I completed high school and then went on and did some years in college. Leaving Jamaica and going to school in Miami was definitely an eye-opener. Because I was going to an all-boys school. Now I'm in a school with girls, no uniforms, and so on. So it was a totally different type of scenario. Fortunately, there were some Jamaicans there, and that we connected with, and that kind of brought a level of stability to us. One of the things that we were not going to lose there was our identity. So during our years in Miami, we never lost our accent, And whereas rather being influenced by the people and the culture, we were the ones that were influencing those that were around us. And they started to talk like us. So while it was a shock for us in one way, you know, it was a good learning experience for the time we were there. After leaving high school in Miami, I attended a junior college in Miami for 2 years and graduated with a degree in what's called architectural technology. I then went on to University of Florida, but kind of lost my focus on my passion for what I was doing. And after about a year and a half, I decided to just head back to Miami and start working. I did some time in sales. I did a couple of years in the restaurant business, managing an Italian restaurant and so on. And it was around that time in '81 when I decided that it was time to come home. Working in sales, for anybody that has, it's very challenging. Sometimes it is disappointing, but I found that, you know, in the disappointment is when I would kind of get challenged to do better and to strive and to excel. So it was a good time of learning for me, yes, interacting with customers and learning to you know, do business, you know, in terms of being punctual, delivering on what you promise and so on. And in a North American market, those things are crucial. You know, you turn up late and you're out the door. You don't deliver on time and, you know, maybe the next order doesn't come your way. So yes, there were valuable lessons learned there. And, you know, I think those things kind of helped shape me along the way. Coming back to Jamaica in 1981, I was a young man, about 23 years old, and not quite sure what I was going to do. So I kind of tagged along with what my father was doing and worked with him, both my brother and myself. And he did a development on Shortwood Road called Woodlands. We worked with him there, and from there he did another development on Millsboro Avenue called the Pines. And again, I was there as his right hand. From there, about 1986, I branched out with my brother and we ventured into the world of security. In 1985, beginning Ranger Security, and then in '88, stepping into the electronic security field and opening Hawkeye Electronic Security. One of the biggest challenges for me would be when you lose a member of staff in the line of duty.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour. Bullseye for Eyes Summer Sale. Try your luck at the Bullseye and get up to 40% off your frames. Land on the Bullseye and your eyeglasses are completely free. This summer, July 15th to August 31st, everyone is a winner at Island Eyewear. Conditions apply. Call 630-1180 or visit islandeyewear.com. Island Eyewear, your price, your style.
Setting up Hawkeye was challenging in a number of ways, primarily because it was a security company. You're dealing with firearms and getting permits and licenses and so on. Along with that, you're now beginning a service-related business where you're employing people and you're running a 24-hour operation. So it was a the learning experience and the learning curve for me took a little while, but once we started, going and things kind of leveled out, probably around 6 months down the road, we had a big challenge, and that was Hurricane Gilbert in September of that year, which really was something I never really even thought of happening. And with that, it caused us to have to dig deep, because when you have a natural disaster like that, people are looking for the security to be there anyway. And to be honest with you, we had a group of men back then that were amazing. They slept at the office, ate bully beef and bread, morning, noon, and night. And we did our patrols and location checks and so forth. And amazingly, none of our customers lost anything during that time with Gilbert, where there was several months where things were in shambles. For us to survive during that time, and I think coming out of that, our customers began to speak about us, and word of mouth and what have you, and the company just began to grow. And in 89 and 90, 91 going forward, the company just continued to grow and strive. So yes, it was a definitely defining moment, I believe. I would say, one of the biggest challenges for me would be when you lose a member of staff in the line of duty. Very difficult time for me, because they're part of your family, somebody you work amongst, and it's hard, very hard to deal with. But at the end of the day, you realize that it's a part of the job that we do, and you just have to kind of deal with it and move on as best as you can, and offer support to those around you and to the family and so forth. When I look at where we are today, 2016, it's humbling for me, and I give God thanks very often, because as I reflect back to those early days where we had maybe initially 5 employees, and I think we started with 13 customers, to where we are today with, within the guarding side of the business and the electronics, we have about 1,800 people working with us, and we're securing over 10,000 customers. So it is a humbling thing for me. And it also is something that causes me to just reflect on the persons that are part of our team, because it's not about me. It's really about the people that are on the team with me, that do the groundwork and the support and so on, and that deliver the service. And so a big thank you goes to those that are with us, those who have been with us, and help us along the way. Security is a big issue and affects everybody. And I believe, the whole electronic security business has brought a level of affordability to the marketplace, which benefits everybody. So today, somebody moving into a home, a security system is part of what they would think of having, just as they would think of having cable TV, telephone service, and what have you. Security is a part of that thought process. And because of the affordability of it, you find more and more people now are opting for that and signing up to get a system installed, to get even a security system for their vehicle and what have you. So it's definitely a growing business. I think moving the company to the next level is remaining on the forefront of the available technology. From the very beginning, that was one of the things that I had my eyes on. What is out there, whether it's from Europe, North America, Asia, we must be able to offer that to our customers here. And it's something that we continue to do. We identify products and we test them, we bring them in here in our market, and when we see something that we think will work, then we introduce it to the marketplace and what have you. Going forward, it would be much of the same because the whole technology industry is changing. Things are just going at such a dramatic pace where you can view cameras at your home on your smartphone. I mean, a few years ago that was not possible. So it's just keeping our fingers on the pulse of what's happening in the world of security and bringing to market those products that would fit in here with our culture and providing the back-end support, whether it's armed response, the technical support and expertise, and so on, to give our customers what they are looking for. I think the best piece of advice would be something my father taught me many years ago growing up. And it is a quote that said, "Your word is your bond." And that has been something that has stayed with me and has driven me. It's do what you say. If you make a commitment, honor it.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round view monitor, and hill start assist for confidence behind the wheel, plus auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
What kind of ESL paper this?
I'm a bird certificate.
You what?
Bird certificate.
Hold on. Let me help you.
Where are you?
Me apply for your birth certificate online on the RGD website. You lucky things improve and get easy now. This didn't have any security feature. How your granny could have write this?
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. We are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
What drives me is a desire to deliver service to our customers, to come up with the systems that we think will better protect them, developing security solutions. That's one of the things we do at Hawkeye. It's not a matter of just providing A, B, or C, but it's looking at what a customer needs and developing a solution that is going to meet their needs and be an affordable option for them. So that, as I said before, and just having a desire to serve and to deliver service to our customers, that is really something that drives me and pushes me every day. I think the best piece of advice would be something my father taught me many years ago growing up. And it is a quote that said, "Your word is your bond." And that has been something that has stayed with me and has driven me. It's do what you say. If you make a commitment, honor it. And going a step beyond that, as a Christian, honesty and integrity are very important for me. And it's something that I share across the board at the company, that we must always be forthright with our customers, being honest and open and so forth. And so being a person of integrity and delivering on what I say is very important. Some of the things that we do at Hawkeye, throughout the years, we support different organizations, different charities, different homes, children homes, and so forth. And we believe this is an important part of who we are as a company in terms of giving back to the community and to the wider society. And, it's something we enjoy doing. When I am able to kind of wind down a bit, I enjoy my family. One of my favorite times is when we gather around the table to have dinner. I have 5 kids, so with 7 of us around the table, and it's just a wonderful feeling to just look at your children around you growing up and so on. I enjoy cooking. So sometimes when I get home from work, cooking helps relieve some of the stress. And so I'll go in the kitchen and prepare something. And I also enjoy cycling. I cycle with a group of guys and girls about 3 times a week. And again, that's a really good stress reliever and a time of just social interaction and, excellent exercise. My wife, Sandra, is a wonderful lady. First of all, to cope with me, because I'm not easy to be around sometimes. But she is a great wife and a great mother to our kids. We have 5 of them: Samantha, 12, Jessica, 13, Stephen, 16, Sarah, 17, and Matthew, 20. And they're wonderful children. You have the usual challenges as they grow through the teenage years and what have you. So we're learning. Parenting is something you learn as you go along. And, as Christians, the Word of God is central in our home, and we share that with them, and we try and guide them accordingly, so that their lives can be shaped by certain values, and which we believe are important for them. When you ask about wealth, what wealth means, at one point I would say, the typical question, the typical answer, financial security. But more and more I have come to the place where wealth to me at the core is having a right relationship with God. Because everything else is meaningless if that isn't in place. So you can have financial success, you can have good health and so on, but if that relationship with God is not there, then those things are not going to add up. So to me, that would be what I would put as being wealthy, being in a right relationship with God through Jesus Christ, His Son.
I wanted to be an educator because I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world.
My dreams and aspiration is to one day become an entrepreneur where I can employ other persons and help to build the country.
I wanted to go into development. I wanted to help people become better versions of themselves. Growing up, I saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of crime, I saw a lot of poverty. The challenges are so many. The first one that comes to mind is the level of youth unemployment that's here.
Challenges that exist here in West Prospect Bogwalk are lack of awareness for educational opportunities or job opportunities.
Not many got a chance to do CXC or graduate from the secondary level. So that's a major setback for the people living in the community.
A way to alleviate this issue is training programs.
They need more opportunities, like to go back to school to get themselves a certificate so they can be able to work and create employment for themselves and their family.
push more entrepreneurship opportunity, encourage these youths to be creative and innovative in what they do, give them startup capital to start their business, invest more in the youth skills and talents.
The Poverty Reduction Program is funded by the European Union, and it really is a program that focuses on the most vulnerable type of communities, making communities safer, making citizens more healthy, better access to education.
For European Union, investing in youth is an obvious choice. They are the future of the country. If we prepare them well, they will bring the change that Jamaica needs. That's why we invest in scholarships, internship, training in life skills and mentorship.
I received a tertiary scholarship from PRP to attend the University of Technology, Jamaica. It meant a lot to me because I realized that somebody else believed in me and somebody saw the potential that I have and somebody believed that I could actually achieve my goal.
I benefited by getting firstly an internship, and also they assisted my bachelor's degree financially. But critically, outside of the finances, the persons that were on the project, you know, the motivation that they provided, etc., it really provided a huge boost.
This is my third year at the MICO. This scholarship, it helped me to be able to focus only on my education here, because tertiary education is not cheap.
I was placed at ODPEM on the one-year internship program. It was really good. It was an opportunity for me to prove myself, to give myself a service, and also to gain experience in the working world, and to also provide for my family.
I plan to be an agent of change in my community by being a mentor, a leader, and a godfather for the youths growing up. Try to help them teach them a trade.
You don't have to be rich to help. You don't have to achieve greatness to start. I contributed to my basic school by providing them with the necessary resources that they need, that I believe that in the long run it will have a ripple effect on many, many persons.
Professionally, I manage the whole program, which is aimed at giving young persons the opportunity to, you know, do what I did, basically, to get their foot inside an organization. Additionally, I also have a little small business that I try to employ young persons to learn a skill, etc.
When you're persistent in life, when you're determined, when you're hungry for success, then you'll be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you want.
It has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives. Not just my life, my family lives, my friends' lives, etc. I want to just urge everyone looking on to continue these social programs. These are the solutions to the many ills that we face as a society and as a country and even as a world. So thank you, and I challenge you, continue it. It's needed.
The Caribbean is a rich biodiversity hotspot. It has over 11,000 plant species, and about 72 of these are found only in this region. This richness also extends to the Caribbean people. Their traditional knowledge of the region's varied natural resources has integrated nature into the economic and health sectors worldwide. It has also drawn many to research and use the region's biodiversity for medicinal, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical purposes. For example, the glaucoma medication Canasol is made from cannabis. However, Caribbean islands have fallen prey to biopiracy, where a country's resources are accessed and developed commercially, but the country gets little or no benefit from it. As the world benefits from the Caribbean's biodiversity, countries need to be compensated for their commercial use. Lawmakers need to ensure that their countries are legally prepared to give access to and benefits from commercial use of genetic resources. To ensure prior informed consent and mutually agreed terms of access established by the Nagoya Protocol, the Global Environment Facility, GEF, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, are jointly providing support to countries at different levels in order to advance towards functional access and benefit sharing. Under the Nagoya Protocol, countries from which natural resources are obtained for commercial developments are entitled to compensation. It also ensures indigenous knowledge from groups such as the Maroons, Rastafarians, and Amerindians can be credited and compensated if their traditional knowledge has been used for commercial purposes. Caribbean islands are putting the Nagoya Protocol in their legislative framework to safeguard their country's biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Let us all work together to protect our resources, do valuable research, and reap the benefits of sustainable bioprospecting in the region.
The Flow Foundation, formerly known as the Lime Foundation, which is the philanthropic arm of telecoms provider Flow, is continuing its tradition of providing support in different areas of society with the focus of connecting communities and transforming lives, where people can work, play, and communicate.
Foundation was established in 2003. And the simple reason for it, we have always given back, but we wanted to have a more structured way of doing it. I headed the public relations function at that particular time, and our philanthropy came through, our philanthropic activities came through the public relations department. But then other departments used to do their own, and we thought it would make sense to just have a structure. And so the foundation was put in place. The foundation seeks to assist Jamaican young people to improve their education. We happen to be in a position where we can help with e-education, meaning giving them access to stuff online, opening up the vistas of the internet to them. And so at the foundation, our primary mandate is about the proliferation of free internet access to all primary schools, and I mean all who asks or ask. Anywhere we have facilities, any primary school that asks us for internet access, they get it, and they get it for free. Currently we have about 400 schools that we give. We also have an emphasis around literacy and reading, and with that we work through the Jamaica Library Service. But it's just all together, education, education, education for young people. Well, I think it should just be almost like reflex, that you give back if you're making money in the society. I think every company that, let me put it this way, every company that makes a profit should give back some into the society. They can choose the way they want to do it. They can link up with other entities and see if together they can make a bigger difference than they by themselves.
The pen relays for the Flow Foundation, according to Mr. Miller, is the biggest single-ticket item in terms of funding for the foundation.
Look, pen relays provides an international stage for young Jamaicans, obviously very talented because all of them have done well for their schools. A lot of them do well academically, we don't see all of that being put out necessarily in the media, right? But we hear about their athletic prowess. Now, we want to give them a platform on which they can showcase their talents. There are hundreds of scouts, especially when they hear Jamaicans are coming, who are at the Penn Relays every year. And you never can tell. That might be the avenue they use to pick up a scholarship, pick up an endorsement, and maybe a brand new future. You know, probably could be the key to the future for some. As you know, a lot of the athletes, the student athletes we have, consistently get scholarships every year. And Penn is one of the avenues, and it's as simple as that. First of all, we believe we should support Jamaican youth, as we said. And secondly, we should give them a leg up in things like Penn Relays. Let them go out and showcase it, and let people see them and say, hey, let's go talk to that youngster, whether it's a girl or a boy, and who knows, it could be off to new things and new territories for them. The vision for the foundation is about continuing to help as many young Jamaicans as we can, to draw as many more as we can into the net in terms of helping them on the way as far as education is concerned, because no matter what anybody says, it is the only way out of some of the circumstances that a lot of our young people find themselves in. BizTown is a Project Jamaica Junior Achievement, right? And we were really attracted to it. My boss was approached. He was very positive, but he asked me to give him my opinion, and there was no hesitation, because a lot of people know BizTown, where they set up a sort of mock city, a mock town, and there are companies in there, GPS, there's Flow, there are several others. And what it does is teach the kids in a real way what actually happens in business. So they learn that they have to work to get paid, and they do get paid, albeit in funny money, right? They learn how to spend that money buying commodities that are offered by the other companies in there. They learn how to transact business. They learn how to fill out checks. They learn how to fill out forms that companies use. So you're giving them an early introduction to some of the things they never used to have. And even if they have it, this is a more practical way of doing it. So these kids, you start to talk to them about getting into business, getting a job, and maybe even entrepreneurial thoughts are going through their heads. So that's, in a nutshell, basically why we couldn't not support this project.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
available for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
As part of its continued mandate, they sponsored a one-week summer camp for children at Jamaica Biz Town.
Flow is the major sponsor of the Biz Camp this year, so it's Flow Biz Camp. We're very happy to be on board. We're so delighted that we're able to facilitate this experience for you. We're happy that through Mr. Robinson, we're able to get this opportunity to, again, transform lives, again, make a difference.
The Flow Biz Camp, which is a one-week camp, catering to children in the surrounding communities. Most of them are aged 10 to 13, and it's an opportunity to expose them to business, how to run a business, how to operate a business, how to manage cash, how to manage responsibility. And many of the things that they learn here during the week are not normally taught in the traditional school curriculum. So we felt it would be an important lesson for them, not just for school, but for life and for their own personal development. Earlier in the summer, we had in about 9 communities, we had a 2-week summer camp, and in fact we took 10 students from each of those camps, and they are now here for the 1-week period. The summer is always a long period. Sometimes the parents can't afford to send the kids to summer camps, so we organize activities which allow the kids to be involved in some organized activity, something that they'll learn from, something which will help them for the upcoming school year, and something which ultimately will assist in their personal development and growth.
BizTown is an experience for our grade 5 students. Understanding why they go to school. I mean, they go to school every single day and they learn, and then it's years before they actually get to experience putting that learning into place. And so with BizTown, they actually get to see that, and it motivates them to see what their future will be like, making sure that work is a part of it, and seeing themselves as leaders and working throughout the system, right? So whether as a guard, whether managing guardsmen, working at the bank as a teller, or being the CFO, all these companies, JPS. What I like too is that it's a mix of careers. So you have the technical skills, and so like I mentioned, JPS, they get to understand this engineer, there's an engineer that works there, head of power plant, meter reader, GB Energy, same thing. And so each of these different jobs, CB, it's not just about the food, it's about how you work with people. It's about rearing chickens and the different, so they understand more than just maybe what they see at the cash or the checkout counter, and understand how much work is involved in working. So as parent, I'm a parent of 2 boys, and for them to experience what I have to go through every day will allow them to say, okay, Mommy, you work hard. I understand now, and I understand money is not, it doesn't go on until infinity. It does have an end point, and so I have to balance and I have to budget better. And so these are the experiences that at age 10, they're learning. Imagine what they're going to be after. Our mantra and our mission is really to empower our Jamaican youth. So there's a lot of work to get done. We always look for partners to help us to expand the work. BizTown is for primary school, but we have a high school program that's expanding nationally as well. All grade 9 students are supposed to be doing entrepreneurship, and it's like this. It's not a facility, but it's hands-on. It's not just learning the theories of entrepreneurship, but they have to run a business. And so we'll be there guiding each of our 160 plus high schools around the country, working with the private sector as volunteers, working with entities and the Ministry of Education to make sure that our students understand what it is to not just come up with an idea, but to transform it into a business and then run the business. The ebbs and flows, the challenges. We've had students that sometimes they're in HR and they have to fire another student because they're not living up to the company standard. It's not just a friend and friend thing, but they're learning that in high school. And one of the biggest complaints I hear from the private sector is that sometimes they don't feel the students are prepared for the working world. But these structures like a BizTown, like a JACE program, help us to prepare our students. So arm in arm with the ministry, we're changing the school system, and we're very excited to be a part of that. Flow has been a staple in BizTown, so they're one of our founding storefront owners. Matter of fact, all of these companies are. But Flow also partnered with the local community through a partnership with Julian Robinson, and said, you're doing great work throughout the year, and they're already supporting that. But during the summertime, especially in August, there are not a lot of summer programs. And so it gives an opportunity to get into trouble. But they thought it'd be great for them to come back and learn some more in a fun way and get ready for school.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
The Jamaica BizTown is operated by a mayor who ensures that the town operates smoothly and its people taken care of.
It has been very interesting. I've been very busy because, as you can see, I have the heaviest file out of everybody else. And I have to be walking around, making sure all the business are going smoothly and according to plan. I know how Angela Brownberg feels now because it's very, very hard, but she always have a smile on her face. I don't know how she do it because it's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and I've never thought of working with the government, but I like it. I would do it as a full-time job.
My name is Dina K. Johnson, and I am the CFO of the BizTown TV. I am the Chief Financial Officer, which is what CFO means. I write the checks, I give the paychecks, I deal with the bills, write the utility bills and all the bills that needs to be paid. My day is pretty hectic because every minute someone from a company comes to me and says, you need to pay this for the bills, you need to pay this for the bills. And the amount of bills I've signed, I'm surprised that I haven't given away the company yet. Because we don't have everybody, I have to be being the meteorologist, and me and the CEO have to be being the TV anchor. Yes, we have to be doing all those stuff. We have to be writing up things for kids, even when we're not supposed to do that. We're still doing it because guess what? We all work together as a team. I want to say thank you to Flow because if it wasn't for them, I don't think we would have this.
My name is Onika Brown and I am the CEO of First Global Bank. I am the person that is ensuring that everything runs smoothly, the customers are well serviced and everything runs smoothly, and I'm the person that ensures that the bank sellers are doing their job. I understand what the CEO of a bank is going through, and I would think I would recommend this job for myself because I can't take the pressure and it's just too much, but I like the experience and I think I'll probably recommend it to other persons.
I'd like you to put your hands together and to thank Flow for sponsoring this camp, because without Flow's sponsorship, we would not have a camp. They actually did it last year, and they are back again this year, and we hope for many more years to come. The purpose of this camp is really to provide some exposure to you in areas of business, to understand a little bit more about business, how to run businesses, to understand a little bit about banking, because many of these things are not taught in the traditional school curriculum. So we hope you were able to take lessons away from it, lessons that you can use in your everyday life.
I'm really glad to hear that you've enjoyed, that you've learned. And as Mr. Robinson said before I spoke, you have got some skills now that will help you in ordinary things in your life. It don't mean that you're going to leave here right now and to become an accountant, or you're going to be a top executive at Flow, but you got an idea of what goes on in the business world. So I just implore you to just build on what you've learned, even think about it when you go home, maybe practice some of the things that you can make up your own checks, for example, write them up, show your mother and father if they don't know how to, and just keep building on that as you go through school.
At the end of FlowBiz Camp, certificates and gift vouchers were awarded to all who participated.
It has been an honor to serve as your mayor today. You all have been great citizens. For the past several weeks at school, we have learned about J.A. Bistown and what it takes to work in a business and a consumer. When I imagined J.A. Bistown, I thought it would be a lot of work, really fun, very busy, and kind of confusing. J.A. Bistown is much bigger than I expected, very cool, tons of fun, very educational, hard work. It takes teamwork, being organized, following rules, good manners. Thank you again to our teachers, volunteers, J.A. Bistown staff, and all the companies that make Bistown possible and a success.
I want to say thanks to Flo for giving me this experience. It was a very fun experience, and I would like to come back next year.
It was very good, because I met a lot of new people, because I don't know anybody at the camp really. And I met a lot of new people, and it was fun. I learned a lot of stuff about checks and writing up checks, about the bank, and because in the future I wanted to be a bank teller, and I did learn a lot about that, and it was good. And today was even better because I was pretending to be a CEO, and I was going to get to dress up like a CEO and pretend and do the jobs and responsibilities that CEO would do. And I won Citizen of the Day award.
My experience was kind of fun. Yeah, when I came on Monday, I didn't really know anybody, and I was hoping to make new friends, which I did. And I learned a lot how the different paying methods, how to write checks and bank deposits. And today was very, very fun. I appreciate that Flow and Junior Achievement sponsored this camp to make it a possibility.
I would like to say thanks to Flow for putting on this business camp for us, because I've learned a lot since I've been here. I've learned about banking, being responsible. They're preparing us for the future, because it's not easy being out there as an adult. And I don't think we as children know that, but I found out today, because I always thought, whoa, growing up, having my own house, and I always have money for spend, but it's not like that. And yes, I thank them again. It's a great experience. Thank you, Flo.
Thank you, Junior Achievement. Thank you, Flo, for this great experience.
We live here, we work here, we make our money here, and we have an obligation to put back money into the society. Simple as that.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant, Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 100, 50 will actually transpire and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process? Because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that the applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIF, that in 2 or 3 years, the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start their production line going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
It has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected. And then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons that come in with those proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UWI who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly. protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our sustainable development goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, 'cause we're winning right now.